What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. We're broadcasting out of the, is this the Model X?
This is the Model X.
The Tesla Model X. With us, we have the Honorable LeonFood.com.
Hey there.
Okay. He's driving, and you guys are looking at the back of his head. Okay. We also have David. Say hello, David.
Hey guys.
All right. We got him in here also. And with us today, we have two very special guests from Uganda. Zimbabwe. My bad. Okay. In America, they don't teach us world history or world geography, okay, like they do in Africa, okay? Everybody has 2 college degrees in Africa, and we're lucky we get past high school here in the U.S., okay? So I dropped out of high school, don't have a college degree, so if I get the geography wrong, please don't beat me up, okay? So we have 2 very special guests from Zimbabwe, and that's in the southern part of Africa, okay? So we have, right, Tawanda over here.
Hi guys.
Say hello.
Hi guys.
All right. And then we have Varen Guy.
Yes.
Over here. Say hello.
Hello guys.
So the way that we met, guys, is that I saw Tawanda Kembo in the far right over there. He was on the Bitcoin Meister show. You guys know me and Bitcoin Meister. We go at it, man. You know, he wants to golden hold and pound that like button.
The like button.
Come on, man.
Pound
that like button. Come on, Tawanda.
Pound that like button.
Your turn, bro.
Pound that like button.
Pound that like button.
Man, you guys are putting enough passion behind it, man. Right? Anyways, so I saw Tawanda on broadcasting on Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister's channel quite a few times, and I don't think we ever had anyone from Africa on our channel, and we were curious to get the pulse of what's happening in Africa in the Bitcoin scene. That's why we, kidnap you guys, put it in the Tesla and take it off with you guys to interrogate you guys here about the Bitcoin scene in Africa. All right.
Happy to share our experiences.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pass the microphone here to Tawanda Kembo and get a little bit of background on their team here. Right. Let me borrow this real quick. So can you share with us a little bit about your background, man? Like, what's your background?
So my background is engineering.
Okay.
I'm a 4th generation engineer. So I say 4th generation engineer because my father runs a construction company, and that's what he did his whole life. And his father also ran a construction company. He was into earth moving, and so did his father. But I'm a different kind of engineer because I chose not to build houses like my father did or build roads like my grandfather did. Chose to build software. So I built my first software program in 1999. I was 30.
So you went from like a manual labor family of manual labor engineers to now a software engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I built my first software program in 1999. I was 13 years at the time. So because I was 13 years old when I started programming, I wasted 12 years of my life.
You started programming the first 12 years of your life?
No, I wasted 12
years. Wasted the first 12 years of your life?
Yeah.
And so at 12 you started learning programming, like what
at 13.
At 13, like what did you learn to program, like Java, C#, or what did you learn?
Pascal was the one I started with. So I did Pascal, Fortran, moved to Visual Basic.
Oh yeah?
It was Visual Basic 4.0 later on. And but I've done lots of languages between then and now.
I tried to learn how to do BASIC back in high school, man. I couldn't even get 2 + 2 to add together, man. I gave up on that stuff, man. I was not one of those real Asians back in school, man. But anyway, so you did that, right? And what about you, Vera guy?
So I have a different background. I trained as an urban planner myself, but
An urban planner?
yes,
Okay.
or an urban designer, if you like. But I was always fascinated with the internet, and in 2010 I started my first company, an e-learning platform, and in 2014 Tawanda wrote me into Bitcoin.
He roped you in? Well, you should thank him for that, man.
Yeah, of course.
You should thank him, man.
It's one of the fascinating things that I think I would be happy to continue doing. And so when Tawanda invited he explained to me, the technology, and it was quite interesting the power that I saw in this technology, and we then decided to get into this together, start a company, and there we go. This is our third year, maybe.
Okay, so can you give the mic to Tawanda real quick? I gotta ask him this. So, talk about how you first learned about Bitcoins or encountered Bitcoin.
So I got into Bitcoin in 2012. That was when I first heard about it.
Oh, so you're an early adopter.
Yep.
So how much was your first Bitcoin cost? About $20, $50?
The thing is, you couldn't buy it from Zimbabwe.
Oh, you couldn't?
On any exchange. You couldn't buy it on any exchange from Zimbabwe. So
how did you buy it? Like My Local Bitcoins, or?
We couldn't. I don't think we had local Bitcoins then. I don't quite remember. But I remember, like, even until 2014 when we visited the US for the first time. So both Werengai and myself. That was when we managed to buy our first Bitcoin in 2014.
And where did you buy it from? Like Coinbase or?
Yeah, it was Coinbase.
Coinbase. So when you were in Zimbabwe, they did not let you buy Bitcoins from Coinbase. You had to come to the US.
Yeah. So none of the exchanges on the planet at the time allowed you to buy Bitcoin from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because, like, David and I come from the traditional stock trading world, and they really give African people a hard time about opening accounts. Like some of the Forex brokers I used to use in the U.S., they won't even let anybody from Nigeria open an account. Like if they detect an IP address registration coming from Nigeria, they just won't allow it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So part of the reason we started our company was solving that problem for ourselves, because we couldn't. Initially, we didn't want to build an exchange ourselves. So I remember I wrote to every exchange on the planet in 2014 and said, you guys should open up in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
A lot of people could really use this technology.
Bitcoin exchange?
And none of them wanted to come to Zimbabwe at the time.
Yeah.
And so
what do you think? Why do you think so? Like, what do you think is the main reason?
A few reasons. So the biggest one is regulation, compliance. It's very difficult. Another one is a country like Zimbabwe is under US sanctions. So a lot of businesses in the fintech space wouldn't want to operate in a place such as Zimbabwe. And some other reasons, such as they don't understand the culture, they don't understand the market. There's so much to learn, and there's so much growth potential in the jurisdictions they are already right now. So they wouldn't want to waste resources on a place such as Zimbabwe when they can better focus on the jurisdictions which they know.
Okay, so basically you tried to get some Bitcoins, you couldn't get it, you had to come to the US, get your first Bitcoins, you went back to Zimbabwe, and you petitioned all the American exchanges and European exchanges to set up an exchange in Zimbabwe, and none of them wanted to do it. So that inspired you to open up your own Bitcoin exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the name of your Bitcoin exchange?
It's called Golix. We were formerly called Bitfinance. We just rebranded.
Okay.
So it's Golix, Golix. Golix.
Okay, Golix. Okay, I'm going to have to get that from you and put it in the description. Okay, so make sure that our audience goes to the correct website if they're interested. Okay, so before we... okay, so are you guys just a Bitcoin exchange only? Or do you guys trade altcoins on there too?
We trade altcoins too, but I'll say something about Zimbabweans. We the way we think as Zimbabweans is with brands and product names is when a brand becomes very popular we normally use that brand's name to refer to the product. And so, for example, we don't call it toothpaste in Zimbabwe, we call it Colgate.
Oh, okay. So, okay, yeah. So it's like in Vietnam, like we don't call motorcycles, we call it Hondas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
do.
you guys do the same thing in Africa?
Yeah, we do the
Okay.
same thing. And so we may also use like in this interview, we may also use the word Bitcoin to refer to other cryptocurrencies because we're Zimbabweans like that.
Oh, okay. So
we
basically,
do have other cryptocurrencies.
oh,
on the
okay. So,
exchange.
but basically, you're saying that because Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency, instead of using the term cryptocurrency, you just use the term Bitcoin to refer to all the other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah,
okay.
we do that a lot.
Okay. Okay. So, how? When did you open this Bitcoin exchange or cryptocurrency exchange in Zimbabwe? This year? Last year? When did you open it?
We opened the exchange in 2015 in September, right? That's when we had our first transaction in September 2015. So I would say this is our second year.
Okay. So, how can you share with the audience a kind of transaction volume that you guys are doing?
You want to
Or is that?
Yeah, since going live in September 2015, our volume has doubled every 3 months. It's
No kidding.
yeah, it's like
The volume has doubled every 3 months.
the volume has doubled every 3 months, but this growth is slow compared to other exchanges internationally.
Okay.
So, but in the last 3 months, we've kind of been adding a zero to our volume every month.
Wait, in the last
in the last 3 months. So last month our volume was 100K.
was it $100,000?
$100,000 in that month.
Mm-hmm.
This month we've already exceeded $1 million, and it's just before the end of the month.
Okay.
But it's because there's so much demand for cryptocurrency. So while we're doing $1 million a month, the demand is like 20 times that.
Oh,
there's much.
so what is keeping you from filling those $20 million worth of orders?
Liquidity.
Liquidity is the issue?
Yes. So we don't have enough cryptocurrency being sold in Zimbabwe.
Oh, okay, so you don't have enough supply of cryptocurrencies to fulfill that demand.
Yeah.
So is that why you're here in the U.S. looking for liquidity providers or what? Because I'm meeting you here at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. Are you guys looking for liquidity providers? Have you guys contacted like Coinbase or Bitfinex or one of those exchanges to see if they'll provide liquidity, help you guys with liquidity?
Like we've talked to a few companies about our liquidity challenge, and a few companies are interested in helping us, but it's not an easy solution in the sense that if you're to give us $10 million worth of Bitcoin, for instance, we can sell it all tomorrow in Zimbabwe, but that $10 million that fiat money becomes stuck in a Zimbabwean bank account.
And you can't send it back to the U.S.
And you can't take it out
because of the what do you call that? You just said it earlier, because of the restrictions.
Yeah, capital controls and forex shortages.
Oh, okay. So even though the demand is significantly higher, you guys are not able to fill it because of all the financial regulations.
Well, not really regulation, but the big challenge is our banks have forex shortages, and so when a bank has forex shortages, it can't settle international payments.
Oh, okay.
And so for that reason, we can't we can't easily solve the liquidity problem.
Wow, that's very interesting. So that means that you guys, if you were saying that you can sell $10 million worth of Bitcoins in one day, that's a lot.
Yeah, we have more than 10 million, I think, on our waiting list for OTC transactions. Like people who want to buy, who will buy the Bitcoin right now.
So, are you guys? What's the solution here? What are you guys looking to do to help with the liquidity issue? Are you reaching out to individual traders, hedge funds, or how? But then you're still stuck with the fiat dollars stuck in Zimbabwe that you can't send back out to people.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I would say so far, we have been doing a good job. So our volume has been doubling every 3 months. And our growth has even accelerated the last few months.
Yeah.
So it means we are doing some stuff right. And one of the things we're doing is getting more people to send remittances to Zimbabwe in cryptocurrency. and that is kind of helped.
Oh, okay.
And it's
So
a good-
so that way it provides you some liquidity.
yeah, and it's a good value proposition for them as well because the price of Bitcoin in Zimbabwe right now is $10,000, and
$10,000 for one Bitcoin?
for one Bitcoin,
10,000 US dollars.
10,000 USD.
Hey, what do you guys think about that, Leon?
Well, do you want to buy anything in Zimbabwe, Ty?
Huh?
Do you want to buy anything in Zimbabwe?
You guys got land or oceanfront property in Zimbabwe, man? $10,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So if you're
it's been like that
if
for a
you're
few
able to
months.
buy it right now from the US, right? If you're able to buy it, okay, from the US right now for 6,000, you can literally turn around and sell it in Zimbabwe for 6,000. I mean for 10,000.
Yeah,
And you can unload $10 million worth in one day.
yeah. It's
Holy crap.
Well, the problem is it's stuck in Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah,
Now you
Yeah.
can't get it out of Zimbabwe back to the U.S.
exactly.
That's
yeah.
your problem. Yeah. Now now you have to live in Zimbabwe with your $10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, hold this.
So, but this is a great solution for someone sending remittances to Zimbabwe because they want to send the money there anyway.
Okay, so, that's interesting, man. That's so. But you guys, but you guys are working on solving that problem. I mean, is there anybody in the U.S. that can help you guys, or?
Definitely. I mean, that's why we also.
I feel like sending you some Bitcoin so that so that we feel like sending you some Bitcoin so that you can sell for us and we'll split. But how are you gonna get the U.S. dollars back to us?
We actually have been getting quite a lot of requests for people to asking if it's possible to open an account, local bank accounts from Nigeria, from Vietnam, saying, okay, can you facilitate for me to open a bank account in Zimbabwe? And if I have that account, will I be able to get my money out of the country? So I think a quick win solution that we see is like what Tawanda just mentioned, is the remittances solution, where because we have got a very huge population of Zimbabweans in the diaspora, in South Africa, in the UK, in the US. And if we can motivate many of those guys, to send their money back home, because they do anyway, on average we get like $2 billion in remittances every year.
To Zimbabwe.
To Zimbabwe, yes.
So you're trying to get them to send that $2 billion in Bitcoins.
If we can get them to send at least a percentage of that
Yeah.
in Bitcoin.
So basically, you guys are basically having to run a remittance business just to operate an exchange, a Bitcoin exchange.
More or less like that, yes.
Wow.
But here's the value proposition for someone who wants to send money to Zimbabwe. So if you want to send $1,000 to Zimbabwe, you buy $600 worth of Bitcoin in the US.
Oh.
You send $600 and sell it for $1,000 in Zimbabwe, and so like you get a negative transfer fee.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go to Western Union, 500 and something would have gotten to Zimbabwe. Now, if you use Bitcoin, $1,000 gets to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So you make money. So if you have family, let's say if I had family in Zimbabwe, I'm better off sending them $600 worth of Bitcoins, because when it reaches them, they're going to get $1,000 worth.
Yep.
That is some crazy shit.
And this premium, it keeps going up. Like over time, it keeps going up every month. So just a few months ago, the premium was like 20%. Like now it's
like 80% now.
Yeah, in a couple of months, like we are confident it's going to keep going up, because Bitcoin is now the only way people can send money outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people are so we have a limited number of Bitcoin, and people are competing to buy that Bitcoin. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say you sell televisions, and you have to import those TVs from China, because we don't manufacture any TVs in Zimbabwe. So if you stop importing, your business is going to die. So it makes more sense for you to buy Bitcoin at double the price, to pay for your TVs, and then just increase the price to your customers.
On the TVs.
Yeah, on the TVs. And
So you pass the extra cost of the vendors, the businesses that are buying, they're paying more for the TVs because they have to use Bitcoins, because that's the only way they can get money outside the country. And then when they get to TVs, they increase the profit margin to cover the cost of buying the Bitcoins.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And so Zimbabwe does $5.3 billion worth of imports every year. So this year the country doesn't know how to move that 5.3. So it's a lot of people competing to buy a very small amount of Bitcoin. And
man, that sucks, man.
I have a couple of questions. So is the majority of the main solution, it sounds like, is remittances. Is that right?
Remittances is the obvious solution. We don't need to do anything. So every time we tell someone about this opportunity, they try it out with $20, and because it works so great, they do bigger and bigger amounts, and they're kind of like a customer who sticks. So they don't leave us.
Okay.
There's virtually no churn rate for people sending remittances, but so remittances is the obvious solution. But there are other solutions as well, such as getting more people to generate cryptocurrencies locally. So we don't have any people doing ICOs in Africa generally.
I see.
No, we don't have any people creating and that's why there's a liquidity problem. So
I see. Well, I was actually just wondering more about as a remittance business. So what does that look like for you? Do you need to go out and seek? How do you find people who will provide liquidity through remittances? I mean that and I don't fully understand that arena, but that seems like a very fragmented market where you're going to need a lot of people on the ground saying, hey, start using Bitcoin, and then you need to educate a lot of people. So what is that effort like to get people to start doing remittances in Bitcoin?
I won't lie to you, it's a lot of work. But one thing we do is, both Werenga and myself, we travel a lot to Bitcoin conferences all over the world. So we're in Austin right now. We will be meeting, so we're here for a few days. We'll be meeting with different Zimbabweans. So we, for example, try to find out where Zimbabweans hang out. So they tend to drink beer from the same bars and stuff like that.
So you're going to connect with the Zimbabwean communities in all these various locations that you travel to and say, hey, are you doing remittances? Here's a much better way to do it because you can get a premium. Okay.
And then it's word of mouth. It's not the most efficient way to do it, but it's been working great for us so far. But there's more we could do. What would be great for us, one thing we look out for at these conferences is potential partners. And so it's an opportunity for you to start a remittances company to Zimbabwe here from the US. If you can do it, if you can get the proper licenses and you can do it properly, you can have a very good cash cow. Even if you charge 0% to send the money to Zimbabwe, you can make a ton of money.
Okay, so say,
We'll talk about that offline.
Right.
We'll talk more about that offline. Hey, I'm gonna pause this right here real quick. All right, so based on what you're telling us, then there's a massive amount of friction going on in the Bitcoin space in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, think of Zimbabwe as a worst case scenario.
Yeah. Now, is that just in Zimbabwe, or what about all the other African countries?
Yeah, I'm glad you're taking this conversation in that direction. So the other countries have similar problems. So when you go even to some of Africa's biggest markets, Nigeria, Tanzania, South Africa, all these countries have capital controls and forex shortages as well.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for most people to do international payments in these markets. And cryptocurrency does solve this problem today.
Yeah.
But there's not enough liquidity on the continent in general.
Wow. So that means that if there's a way to get Bitcoins into Africa, period, we can expect the price to skyrocket to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
I think if you with more liquidity, it will kind of. I don't think it will skyrocket.
Yeah.
I don't think it will skyrocket as we add more liquidity.
Hey, we should have taken them up to the third floor where the railing is at, so they can walk through there.
We can do it on the way back.
Well, the sunlight might be down. Let's take them up there through that because it looks better. Hey man, we're trying to show our guests a good time, man. Don't be difficult. LeonFood.com.
Where is it? The top floor?
I think it's whatever floor we were on. I think it's the floor above it.
Then that's 4.
Yeah. So they have a walkway out there that's really nice.
Yeah.
So you guys can see the landscape of what Austin looks like.
Oh.
Austin's like the second best city to live in America. Doesn't matter
what's
what
the
anybody
best?
says. Yeah. It's
What's the best?
the best city is San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So San Diego is very similar to this. It has the hill country, but instead of rivers and beautiful rivers and lakes like right here, you can see one of the most beautiful lakes, right? I've never been to Lake Victoria, but Sade, when she sings about it, she says it's very beautiful. But this Lake Travis is extremely beautiful. Right?
Where's that walkway?
Are we lost?
We're lost. The walkway. Let's go down. It's not here, right?
Okay, well let's just walk down the stairs. So that way you can get the scene here.
Yeah, you can see the hill country.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
It must be on the second floor then.
Is this like upmarket?
Yeah, this is like a higher end neighborhood.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Multi-million-dollar homes over here.
Yeah.
Ah, here it is.
All right, here it is. This is what I wanted you guys to see right here. So, just so the audience can see it too. So there's what we're looking at, guys, out there. So that's the beautiful hill country of Austin, Texas. So this is where all the, pretty much, you know, the people that have a little bit of money, they come, right? So
where were we?
So I did not realize there was so much friction. You know, I kept hearing Bitcoin Meister talk to you about it. That's why I wanted to get directly from you. You know, I mean,
So Bitcoin Meister had first-hand experience. So you've
yeah.
actually been to.
How did you meet Bitcoin Meister, by the way?
We met online, and then I invited him to an event we were doing in Zimbabwe, and he said, of course, like he jumped on the next plane and came to Zimbabwe. So what's also interesting is he's also experienced it. So
Okay.
I've been in a queue with him, in a bank queue. Like he's seen how hard it is to get cash from the banks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he's also witnessed it firsthand. So
Okay.
when he talks about Zimbabwe and Africa, like
Yeah, so he has
been
first-hand
there, he's
experience.
witnessed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just so the audience can see it, man. So this is like all the restaurants and shops here.
Nice.
Right here. So this is a Sunday evening, obviously, you know, but during the daytime, there's more people. You wanna come down here? Take a left right here.
I like that saying, don't cross it, don't boss it.
Huh?
Yeah.
What? So, well, we're glad to have you here, man. What do you think about the city of Austin so far?
So it's my 4th time in Austin.
Oh, your 4th time?
Yeah. Austin is also one of my favorite cities in the world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like it just as much as I love Cape Town.
Oh, Cape Town, is that the #1 city to live in America, in the world?
I think so.
Yeah.
think so.
He thinks it's, what is it? Did you say it was Malta or is that,
Malta. There's several cities I would go. It depends on what you're looking for.
yeah? Okay, so here, guys, like, hey, we're going to show you guys what we're looking at, you know, and then we're going to cut the video off, guys. So, we got to come through here. Right here. So, look, let's do this. Right? Come here, Leon. So, well, we appreciate you coming on our channel with us, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll
Thanks
show
for
you guys,
having me. Yeah.
show you guys a good time at dinner tonight, you know,
Yeah.
and courtesy of our channel. And then maybe someday, Leon, you go to Zimbabwe and visit.
Maybe. I
You know what I'm
haven't been
saying?
there. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should come.
Yeah, well, we know Bitcoin Mice has been there because he always talks about it, you know. So, where are you going after this, Austin? After this Bitcoin conference?
I'm heading out to Mexico, Cancun,
Mexico,
for
to
for
DEFCON
DEFCON.
in Cancun?
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
so
and then I'm coming back to Austin because my flight back to Zimbabwe is out of Austin.
Okay.
So I'm
okay.
here for 3 nights and then I'm back to Zimbabwe.
Okay, so I'm in Dallas, so if you ever come through Dallas, just give me a holler.
Okay.
Okay, so this is Tawanda Kembo. Make sure you send me the link to your website so I can put it in the description.
Okay,
right?
I'll do that.
And then thanks for watching this video, guys. I was not aware that there was a lot of Bitcoin friction in Zimbabwe. That's very interesting. I was not aware of that. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys want to learn more about cryptocurrency investing, make sure you go to www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter. I always forget, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter. And we'll see you guys in the next video.